Yeah, how's it going? Rick over here at RacerCat Motorsport. Today is the day, full launch of Forza Horizon 6. Thought I'd give my 2 cents for what it's worth of what my experience has been with early access. Playing it 3 or 4 days now. Unlocked the Legend Island. Have messed with most of the settings, not all, unfortunately, due to some technical hiccups. But I think I have enough to give a steady idea of what I think of the game so far and what I think my opinions are for what I like, what I don't like, and few things that I'm on the fence about. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Forza Horizon 6. Finally upon us. Here we go. All right, so let's talk customization. So you got the avatar in the game, as always, and I think there's a good enough amount of customizations as far as your character goes that will make many people happy. It's nothing to write home about, unfortunately. There's not really any innovation in the system. It's just pretty much a carryover from previous games, which unfortunately you'll see a lot in this game, and that kind of just seems to be the running idea that a lot of people seem to have, that if nothing was broken, they decided not to fix it and just kind of slapped a new skin on a new area and a new game, which is kind of where you're at for the most part. But, you know, I made a video about this little short talking about how I didn't like the fact that there were no facial hair or beards in the game. I would have liked to see that because, you know, some of us real men have beards and some of us like to have our beards in game, but no facial hair whatsoever, unfortunately, which is a little thing, but you know, it's enough to be there. And luckily, after making the short, I wasn't the only one like it. So I wasn't just a crazy person ranting about it, because it feels like a lot of other people felt the same way, which made me feel better. And then you got the normal stuff, you know, everything you want. If you look at the wrists aren't working for some reason. The watches don't show up at all, which I'm sure will get patched in a future update. So not really overly worried about that. But seems like people are either like, why do we need an avatar in a racing game to begin with? And some people that actually enjoy it. So it's good to see that the people that do enjoy it do get something to mess around with, which is fine. It is what it is. And then for the people that have a disability, they did bring back the prosthetics and the earpiece, or the hearing aids and things of that nature. So at least the accessibility and people getting to be able to see some different options for those that need to worry about it. At least they get what they need to hear. So that's where we're at. So yeah, it is what it is. This is Forza Horizon 6 customization. Nothing to write home about, but it is what it is. And hopefully you got enough options to make your character at least somewhat what you want it to look like. My character, unfortunately, looks like a bald cancer patient because there's no beards. Come on, Forza. It's 2026. Why no bloody beards? Come on. But moving on. All right. So while the map is not huge, there is so much crap to do on this map. It's almost insane. Between the races, the story modes, you have food deliveries, street races, toge races, danger points, speed zones, drift zones, you know, all that normal stuff that came back, but there's just so many of it. And then you add in the drag racing strips, the time attack that you have to do in every single class of car. And then, you know, you have this where you can go through and, for the completionist out there, literally go through every option in the game, every sort of feature that it has, and 100% completion it if you want to, which is cool. It definitely gives some life to the game, especially here early on before we get any sort of expansion or seasonal update or, you know, things of that nature. There is a ton of stuff for people to drive around and do if they want to. And if you don't want to do this, you always have the versus mode we now have, where you race against AI rivals for time on specific tracks. You have the online multiplayer mode, which unfortunately I haven't been able to mess around with too much, because the versus mode and the multiplayer are only seem to be working about 25% of the time, because then it says the servers are down and has some sort of technical issue. to where you do a versus race and your progress isn't saved because they're having server issues, because I'm guessing everyone and their mother is trying to play this game right now due to the hype around it. And then you have the returning things like wheel spins and all that lovely kind of stuff. Here's all the different options for the versus AI rival mode, all the different tracks, including a crazy one at the end where you literally drive around the entire map of, I think it's like 60 something miles, or sorry, 53 miles to get a time, which is definitely interesting. And it's on one of your main races on Legend Island, which is definitely interesting. So if you want to drive, you have your options. There's not a limit of things you can do right now, which is always nice. But like I said, unfortunately, Horizon Play isn't really working 75% of the time. And there's certain things that are still locked, like Festival Playlist and the Event Lab. All right. So here is their bread and butter and kind of what they consider their golden jewel of this game. And that's the housing system. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really messed with this. I unlocked the house you unlock while you're doing the campaign and just haven't done anything with it. I did buy another house up in the mountains just because I thought it looked cool. So I have a couple different garages to build on stream and make videos around, but haven't really messed with it yet, to be honest. I've been focused so much on the racing and enjoying that and trying to get to the end game island that I haven't really got in here yet. So I don't really know what the extent of it is and what you can do, to be honest. I wish there were more systems that they innovated on besides for this, if I'm completely honest. Like, yeah, it's a cool thing to have, but I wouldn't really consider this as the reason I bought the game, as far as like features that I'm looking for in a racing game to keep my interest. But I'm sure there's some people that are going to love this. I know when they add housing to other games, people absolutely love it and they go crazy for it. So hopefully this tickles the fancy of those who are looking for something like this. And I will make some videos about this as we move on. It's a decent space. As you can see, this is the whole size of the garage. So, I mean, as far as IRL performance garages go, this is a pretty nice shot. And so hopefully we got to see some people create some cool stuff and see where that goes from there, because we're going to see some options. We're going to see some cool stuff, and hopefully we get to move on and see what people do. All right. So this is where I start kind of coming up with the negatives. I wish they would have spent as much time on the garage stuff as they did on car customization. Car customization, unfortunately, is my first major negative with this game. The car customization, unfortunately, in this game is nothing to write home about. There's really been no innovation. They haven't really added anything, and there's nothing special about it. You have some cars where there's a couple options, like this Evo has a few options, which is nice. But then you get to other cars that have a huge aftermarket support in real life, but then you go to the car and your only option is one wing and a front splitter, and that's pretty much it. I know my NSX, that's all you get is a front splitter and an ugly wing that doesn't go with the car. The Evo, I mean, the amount of things that people have done with these Evo 7s and Evo 8s and the amount of customizations people have done over the years, and there really isn't any options besides for the typical C-West Yaris and one Forza thing. And that's pretty much it. Like, as far as innovating this from previous games, they really haven't. If anything, I would almost say it went backwards. There's cars that I feel like should have a lot more options as far as customization that just really don't for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just kind of where we are, unfortunately. We'll go right here into the new Civic Type R. And the same thing, this car has a huge aftermarket support in real life, but in game, there's just really nothing. You know, it's typical motor upgrades, stuff like that. You're like, yeah, okay, cool. But then you get to the body kits and the aero, and every body kit in the game is pretty much the same thing. It's just wide fenders, front and rear. That's pretty much it. So either a Rocket Bunny kit or a bootleg Kimu version of a Rocket Bunny League. And here on the Civic Type R, you get a front splitter and a wing, and that's pretty much it. with the amount of aftermarket support Hondas have, and that's all Forza could pull out. Like, really? Come on. We'll do one more car here, and we'll see, just kind of, you know, trying to pull some more popular cars that I know have a strong aftermarket support in real life, so you can just kind of see how lacking it is inside the game when you kind of look at it from the outside in. So we're going to look at the GR86 right now, which has a good amount of aftermarket support, and let's see what we got with this, which isn't going to be much. Spoiler warning. So yeah, we got normal stuff. Go in. Yep. We got a diffuser, front splitter. We got a couple wings and an insert to show the GR logo. Like, what was the point of even adding that in the game? And then you have a Rocket Bunny wide body kit. And that's literally the full aspect of the customization of this game. But, you know, it is what it is. But like I said, this is definitely something that I am not happy with and wish they would have spent more time innovating on this, but we didn't get it. All right, next negative. And this is something that I think they really screwed up in development. This is every single race in the game. As you can see, I golded every single race in the game, got first place in every single game or in every single race. And by the end of it, I was 6,000 Horizon points away from actually unlocking the last wristband to go into the final area to finish the campaign. So it's a racing game, and they didn't put in enough races to actually get you through the entire thing you need to get to. So I had to spend the last day and a half going back and doing basically nitpicky busy work. I had to go back, find all the boards, do all the danger zones, you know, do the little, you know, speed zones and stuff like that, just to get enough to just creep in to get enough to go into the last area in the end game island zone. Why is there not enough races in the game to actually complete the campaign? It's a racing game, and you're forcing people to go do other stuff because not everything in the game gives you those Horizon points. I would say only probably about 30% of the stuff in the game actually gives you these points you need in order to move on up through the campaign, and it's just not enough in it, which is heavily disappointing. But let's move on to the last negative thing I have to say about this game, because for the most part, the game is good. But it's 2026. Is anyone else tired of this? Why do we need bloody pronouns in a racing game? Like, I get you need to make your political ideology checklist to get anything done by a major studio nowadays, but in a game like Forza that makes you choose a name or nickname and they go out of your way to call you that game the entire time, why do we need this? Your pronouns literally do not become an aspect of the game anywhere whatsoever because they just call you by whatever name or nickname that you chose. It's stupid. We shouldn't have it, but that's where we at. All right, let me know what you guys think about the game. I'm enjoying it. Hope everyone else is enjoying it. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any other issues or what you guys think.